First to another day of division and accusation in Canberra. Try as it might, the government just can't seem to regain control of the political agenda. Damaged in recent weeks by an expenses scandal, by internal divisions over gay marriage. Today, another potential scandal came from left field. The target was the Trade Union's Royal Commissioner, Dyson Heydon. Labor called for his sacking after it was revealed he'd accepted an invitation to speak in an event organised by the Liberal Party. Well, last month, Mr Heydon accused Bill Shorten of lacking credibility during his appearance at the Commission. Now the government's been forced to defend Mr Heydon's impartiality and getting snarled up in the detail about the function's exact purpose.
It is a very common thing for eminent public figures to speak at political occasions.
Commissioner Heydon had accepted the invitation to raise funds for the Liberal Party.
That function, Senator Conroy, is a public function. It is not a political function.
The Royal Commissioner himself believed that it was inappropriate to give the address at a Liberal Party fundraiser.
Is it a function of the Liberal Party, as you described in your previous answer, or is it not?
Well, late today, the Royal Commissioner Dyson Heydon released an email exchange between his office and the organisers of the dinner. Those emails acknowledged the Liberal Party connection, but claimed that the dinner would not be a fundraising event. The response on behalf of Dyson Heydon made it clear he would not speak if the function could be described as a Liberal Party event. The Attorney-General, GEORGE Brandis, is a central player in both today's defence of Commissioner Heydon and the split over gay marriage. And I spoke to him just a short time ago in Parliament House. George Brandis, thanks for joining us.
Pleasure, Tony.
Now, you and the Prime Minister seem to be on different pages today on the Dyson Heydon affair. So when is a Liberal fundraiser not a fundraiser?
Well, the event to which you're referring, the Garfield Barwick address, was not a fundraiser, and it was specifically indicated by the person responsible for convening the event that it was not a fundraiser. In fact, late today, the State Director of the New South Wales Liberal Party, Mr Nutt, put out a statement in which he indicated that he'd done a costing and the cost of the event charged by the venue provider was almost exactly the ticket price. So it's not a fundraiser if you don't raise any funds from it, Tony.
Well, so the Prime Minister's got it wrong then, did he, in question time?
Well,
there was an awful lot of play about that in question time.
Well, the question time was before Mr Nutt put out his statement, which indicated that effectively no profit was made from the event. It was an event that was put on by the New South Wales legal profession branch of the Liberal Party. But what it was a public lecture. It was a public lecture about a legal topic to an audience largely of lawyers. So it was an event that had an association with the Liberal Party because they put it on, but it wasn't actually a fundraiser.
But are you, fair enough, well, are you suggesting in that case there was no problem of the Royal Commissioner appearing at an event which was nominally under the auspices, as it says in the email, of a branch of the part of the New South Wales Liberal Party? Well,
I think the point that needs to be emphasised is that Mr Heydon, as one would expect, was punctiliously careful to make sure that the outrageous statements made against him by the Shadow Attorney-General and others on the Labor benches today couldn't honestly be made, which is why the Secretary of the Royal Commission sent an email to the organisers that said if there is any possibility, with the words any possibility bolded for emphasis by the way, if there is any possibility that the event could be described as a Liberal Party event, he will be unable to give the address, at least while he is in the position of Royal Commissioner. So Mr Heydon, of his own initiative, before this was even raised in the public arena by the Labor Party, had done the very thing that they said he ought to have done. OK,
in the email exchange you're referring to today, Gregory Burton SC, who's the man who invited the Royal Commissioner to speak, said, as you know, although nominally under the auspices of the Liberal Party lawyers' professional branches, this is not a fundraiser. Would you agree there's a suggestion that Dyson Heydon already knew of a Liberal Party connection to this event?
Look, Tony, I'm not going to parse email exchanges between individuals.
Well, that's precisely what you were doing a moment ago.
The fact is, A, this wasn't a fundraiser. B, it wasn't in my view, in the character of a political event, it being a legal lecture to a group of lawyers, albeit one put on by the New South Wales Legal Professionals branch of the Liberal Party. C, it was a public event. And in any event, lastly, Mr Heydon, to avoid any possibility of this being said against him, withdrew of his own initiative.
Yes. Would you agree, though, the phrase "as you know" suggests that Dyson Heydon was well aware of the Liberal Party's involvement prior to this email exchange that's been released?
I think that phrase in the email exchange could mean anything.
Did it in any way, or would it in any way, have impugned his neutrality as a Royal Commissioner for him to have given that speech at a function which was under the auspices of part of the Liberal Party?
I think it would have been better had he not done so, which is why he decided of his own motion not to do so.
Should he have done better due diligence? That's what people are asking, before accepting the invitation in the first place.
Well, as I understand it, he was approached some years ago by a person at the New South Wales Bar who suggested that at some unspecified time in the future he might give the Sir Garfield Barwick address. This is a well-established address within the New South Wales Bar. The address was not merely advertised by the lawyers branch of the Liberal Party, it was advertised by the New South Wales Bar Association with no reference to a connection to the Liberal Party. The transcript of previous Garfield Barwick addresses have been published in the monthly journal of the New South Wales Bar Association.
Can I just bring you up on that point, because you delivered the inaugural Garfield Barwick oration back in 2010. Did you make your travel arrangements for that under the assumption that this might be judged as attendance at a party fundraiser?
No, not really. I was very flattered to have been asked to give the inaugural Garfield Barwick address, and the event that I attended was precisely of the character that I've just described. It was an address to a group of lawyers, almost entirely people from the New South Wales Bar and Bench. I gave a lecture that had absolutely nothing to do with politics whatsoever. I was conscious that the people organising the event were Liberal lawyers from the New South Wales Bar, but this was much more in the character of a Bar Association professional event than it was a political event.
So you didn't treat this at all as travel to a party fundraiser when you looked at your own expenses?
No. But in any event, Tony, I was in Sydney. I've checked my diary. I was, as it happened, in Sydney that day on other shadow portfolio related affairs in any event.